What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy, Luciferian Prince, coming at y'all once again. Welcome. Thank y'all for viewing the content. All of those who have recently subscribed, all of those who are loyal subscribers, to all the new subscribers, I say again, welcome. No discrimination here whatsoever. Everybody's welcome, and we develop a rapport with each other as far as those who seek the truth. Now, as far as agents are concerned, I mean, that's always going to be a part of the system, in which I'm going to elaborate on today. So, again, new subscribers, if you have subscribed and this is your first time on this channel, I suggest you stay if you come across this. If you're open to new precepts and concepts, that is. Now, no one's forcing anybody. There's no compulsion on this channel whatsoever. And everybody is welcome and entitled to their own opinionation. Now, if you're watching this video around children, I always say this on my channel because my channel is not based for children. Simple as that. The sole purpose of this information is informational, educational purposes only. This is simply just an analysis, and I suggest that you listen to this with an open mind. See, the key to learning is also having a willingness to learn. Now, upon my journey over the past several years, I should say now, several years upon several, is that I noticed that a lot of people who, get into this sort of knowledge, I should say, and the vastness thereof, it can often sometimes be confusing, but I want to separate something so to give a more in-depth and precise and concise as I can, because this is going to be one of my relatively longer videos. And I ask again that those who view this, before you get comfortable, get a snack, get you something to enjoy while you are going to be here, because this is going to be one of my relatively longer videos. I have a thorough analysis on this, people, and this is what I'm going to talk about. Now, howbeit though, there's a sci-fi show that came on the air, it was years ago. It was called Andor, right? And the thing that I saw in this, and the reason why I chose this to be the best reference that I could, is because, hold on to your horses, people. This planet, this place that we call Earth, indeed is a prison system. I know that most people will not accept what I just said, but yes, people, this planet is a prison system. It is a prison system. In Latin, it is called Mundi. Okay? So what we're going to do is look up the definition of Mundi together. So that way, we're not misconstrued, or we're not misconstruing anything. Now, this is what it is. So when we say Mundi, and I said that this is a prison planet, this is what it means by syntax. Mundi is the Latin genitive form of mundus, meaning of the world or of the universe. It is frequently used in scholarly, philosophical, or formal phrases to denote something pertaining to Earth, realm, or globe. That comes from Merriam-Webster. Now, in regards to Mundi, it has multiple meanings. So you have common uses and phrases. Axis Mundi, the world axis or center, connecting heaven and earth. Anima Mundi, the world soul or vital force permeating the universe. Stupor Mundi, wonder of the world. Oculus Mundi, eye of the world, often referring to a opal gemstone. There's other meanings such as botany, or it's a small town. Now, in what we're saying about this world being a prison system, I want you to understand the basis of a lot of philosophical and spiritual texts that people have been reading for eons. There is a common belief amongst many groups of people that believe that indeed that we, as the inhabitants of this place, have been tricked ultimately, and I know this may collide with people's spiritual beliefs. This is one of the reasons why I said come with an open mind, because they all route back to the same path. They've just been distorted over time, and that's just to keep the illusion going. Now, bear with me when I say this. I'm not saying anything about anybody's religious ideology, but I'm going to tell you that that is one of the most, if not the very significant point in which I am actually pointing this video at. Am I saying I am against it? No. I know that religion has basically contributed to the mental enslavement of billions of people on the face of this earth. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I did a video on it years ago about the secret Treaty of Verona. It says it's on congressional record. It's on congressional record. I don't have to make this up. Religion is what the controllers use to suppress the masses, to keep you in bondage. See, the word religion comes from the French and Latinized terminology, which means religiaire, which means bondage. So anyone that sticks to that particular bondage system is a servant to that system. Why do I say this? It's because the same book, the same religious system tells people who read it to be subject to their masters. You see what I'm saying? It says, slaves, be obedient to your masters. So we have two distinctions of people here. We have people who are deemed socially as being slaves, as being enslaved. In a state of enslavement means there is no freedom unless your master decides to let you go. Now, who gave the master the authority? Now, this is where we're starting to cook a little bit, people. The water's just heating up. You have people who've placed themselves in positions of power through what they call a doctrine called divine right. These so-called royals and all these so-called people who are now coming to the surface because they're now being exposed for all the corruption and misdeeds that they've done against humanity. This should be a very big sign for people who are aware, not for the people who are asleep, who turn the deaf eye and ear to a blind eye and a deaf ear to basically what's going on. What we have to understand is that these people have done this for centuries. You know, religion is indeed the biggest contributor to the oppression of mankind. I'm telling you that, and you don't have to take my word for it. I'll read it for you. This is from the secret Treaty of Verona. It was signed in 1822 between the major European powers of the time to oppose representative governments and restrict civil liberties. Sounds a lot like today, doesn't it, people? The document summarizes the Treaty of Verona signed in 1822 between the major European powers of the time to oppose representative governments and restrict civil liberties. The treaty aimed to suppress popular uprisings in favor of restoring absolute monarchies in Spain, Portugal, Italy, and other countries. It also had designs to suppress newly independent republics, such as in Latin America at the time. This secret agreement was the basis of the Monroe Doctrine, issued by President Monroe in 1823 to oppose European interference in the Americas. This is historically proven, right? Now, this also you can find in American Diplomatic Code 1778 through 1884, Volume 2, Elliott, page 179. So before anybody say that this is a conspiracy theory, this is actually on congressional record. You don't have to take my word for it. All you have to do is just go look up the source. But let us read. It says, convinced that the principles of religion, from Article 3, convinced that the principles of religion contribute most powerfully to keep nations in a state of passive obedience, which they owe to their princes. The high contracting parties declared to be their intention to sustain in their respective states those measures which the clergy may adopt, with the aims of ameliorating their own interests, so intimately connected with the preservation of the authority of the princes, and the contract and powers join in offering their thanks to the Pope for what he has already done for them, and solicit his constant cooperation in their views of submitting the nations. Secret Treaty of Verona, 1822. So, when I say that I told you that religion is one of the biggest oppressive means to subjugate nations of people. Now, we're cooking, and I just want everybody to have an open mind about this. Your religion, your way of life, your prescription, your mannerisms, everything you do is all structured by a system to benefit the few and to subjugate the many. Now, Andor, if anybody is familiar with the Star Wars franchise, as you can see my mascots back there, you know, obviously I'm using it as a primary reference, you see what I'm saying? But Andor was detailed like this. Now, I'm going to give you the breakdown for those who aren't familiar with it, but it's pretty much like our social structure today in our Western society. Now, here's how the system works. The purpose of the Mundis Prison System. The Mundis Prison System is not designed for rehabilitation. It exists for forced industrial labor, supplying parts for imperial military production, psychological control, and deterrence. It reflects the authoritarian structure of the Galactic Empire. So, doesn't that sound just like the United States of America? Forced industrial labor, hence the 13th Amendment that says slavery should not exist in the United States except to when a person should have been convicted of a crime. Supplying parts for imperial military production, when the court bonds are basically sold and resold on the markets, where actual war contracts are actually being taken out in the name of citizens, and psychological control and deterrence, psychological control of the people in prison, and psychological control of the people outside in the greater prison. It sounds pretty much like the world you live in. But before I go into any more further detail of this, and like I said, I'm not looking for anyone to agree with me on this. I just want you to analyze exactly how your society is structured around you. A lot of people, they have these half-hearted arguments, or statements, I should say, nonetheless, about the Matrix. The Matrix is a simulation, people. In a simulation, anything that's controlled has inputs and outputs. That's just the way this is. So when you're in society and you're a person that can see, and you can see clearly that this is a grand experiment, I'm just letting you know, this is no conspiracy theory. The control comes from the inputs, such as if you turn on the morning news, which I so do not do at all. But if you turn on the morning news, there's one story about this, and then the rest of it is drama and doom. Drama and doom. Now, what I'm going to go further into is to basically tell you the reason why they do these things and they put these mediums of input into the Matrix is to keep the people in a state of fear. See, one thing you have to learn is that your fear is the food source. Your fear is the food source. The more you fear, the more you comply. That's just the way it is. So if you get millions of people to comply with a specific agenda out of fear, that is the continuous food source. So let us go back and let us think, for those people who have studied ancient Kemetic spiritual principles, as opposed to the time when people are judged upon their transition. Said particularly that you will be met by Anubis, and there will be a scale. On one side, there will be a feather. On the other side will be placed your heart. Now, In reference to this, when the heart is placed on the scale, it is supposed to be lighter than a feather. Now, a lot of people are still looking at this with physical eyes, and they're thinking that's quite impossible. You're not looking at the significance behind the message. If indeed your heart is heavier than a feather, you are doomed to repeat this cycle. You know why? Because you believed through your life, worn down and outweighed by the cares of this world, which is transitory. You still care about things that are here. Now, you know that unfamiliar feeling you always get that's called deja vu? It's not an accident. Your age, your mannerisms, your way of thinking, your way of existing in this simulation, you've already fucking done it. Now, for those people who believe in quantum physicality beyond the realm of the physical, then I don't have to explain it to you. This world is transitory. You must understand nothing here is real. It took you damn near 30 years to find out that the food you've been eating all along wasn't food. It took you a long time. When I was younger, I knew what a dictionary was. I didn't have Google growing up. If it was ingredients inside of something that I didn't understand, I looked it up. We didn't have Google. We had to do critical research. But now, because the simulation is overpopulated, it's too much to handle. But the inputs, such as the NPCs of this reality, they have to eat. They don't even care what they eat as long as they eat it. This is what the controllers are putting into the system. It's not an accident, people. There are too many NPCs. There's too many of them. Why do you think every time you drive by a McDonald's, there's a long line with all the warnings that have been over the internet telling people don't eat that shit? There's still lines wrapped around the entire structure. That's NPC behavior. You got to feed the NPCs. That's why it's the McDonald's over here. It's the Burger King over here. It's the Wendy's over here. It's a Walmart over here. It's the KFC 2 blocks up. It's several gas stations in between. You got to feed the NPCs. Give them what they want. Do y'all understand what I'm saying right now? This simulation, I'm telling you, nothing happens by accident. It's all planned. This is a structure to keep a people subjugated. Now, a lot of people want to talk about racial. It's all of y'all. Now, people say it's you too. No, it's not. Because if you function on a level of mental and physical and spiritual quantum mechanics, you ain't a part of this matrix. What the hell y'all think I've been showing y'all for so long? I'm not no damn prophet or nothing. I'm just a person who sees it for what it is. It's all illusionary. But then you have to realize even a dream has rules. Even a dream has rules. Pardon me. Quick intermission. I gotta grab my charger because I ain't finished. I should have did that before I did it, but hold on one second. All right. This is going to be a long discourse. Want to make sure I'm strapped up. All right, people, I'm back. You know, it is what it is. We got a little interference going on there. but that's because it's charging. So with that being said, can't do that. That sucks. But if it cuts off, I'll just go analog. I'm not re-recording this. I'm 20 minutes in. So with that being said, if the battery dies, it dies. I don't care. But yes, people, this is the truth. The significant truth of it all is the fact that this is not what you think it is. I know a lot of y'all, I'm just going to go off with it. Screw it. So basically, for those who can still hear me loud and clear now, I ain't got the static in my ear. I want to let y'all know that this is not real. We have believed in the concept for so long that a lot of people are like, I want my own house. I want my own car. I want my kids to be raised this way. You could want all of that. That is a good thing to have as far as a resolution and a plan. But do you not see how many years, how many days, how many weeks go by and nothing's changing for us as a whole, societally? Now, here's the problem. The problem is that people think that the more money they have, the easier their life will be. I'm telling you, if we're sitting here telling ourselves that money isn't real, we're just giving exchange items, then you will understand the concept that that's a goal that can never be obtained. Once this world went into commercial slavery, the freedoms that you thought were once free don't exist anymore. Now, am I saying that it's impossible? No. But when you're hooked to the matrix, you're a part of the system, then the creature comforts that entrap you into enjoying whatever comfortability that your little fiat may afford you is not going to do you any good. Tell you, grow your own garden. You know what? People are barely able to even fathom what it takes to actually manage a garden. Now, I showed you on my channel, you know, me and my family, we haven't set it up as of yet because we've moved since then. But we have a tower garden. I have thousands of seeds, solely self-sufficient. It takes care of itself. You see what I'm saying? Grow your own food. If you're worried about pesticides and everything, grow your own food. Like food. We're talking about food here. See, what's qualified as a snack food is not food. It's engineered drugs. That's what it is. To stupefy and dumb down the population. That's what it's for. You know what I'm saying? No conspiracy. I showed you on my channel years ago what type of water to drink. Ben showed you, did the aqua test and everything on several different types of water. This is the thing that I want you to understand, people. Your life is quantumly based upon the way you fucking think. If you think poor, you will be that. If you wake up and dwell on negativity, which are more inputs into the system, then that's what you'll get. Why do you think that the music in this culture is so derogatory that this is the first thing when it comes on a radio frequency designed for a particular populace of people? This is not by accident. The further you drive out in the country, the more country music you hear. The more you drive into the metropolitan area, the more urban music you hear. That shit is not by the accident, people. It's all about demographics and census statistics. How many people live over here in this neighborhood? Yeah, sure. We'll let them throw up 2-3 liquor stores out there and a couple churches. No problem. Inputs and outputs. Let's take out the positive, the healthy food, and let's throw in a Walmart over there. Let's throw in a low-budget grocery store over there. Oh, these people, they make a little bit more. They're in a different tax bracket. Let's go build up a nice grocery store for them. Whole Foods. Let them. It's all an illusion, though. You're thinking that they're getting better food. It's still processed. It just has a Whole Foods sticker slapped right on it. Illusionary. but they are being treated the same, objectified. One is being preyed on because it has currency, and the other is being preyed on because it has lack of currency. Who the fuck is really gaining the advantage? The system inputs. The ones who are raising the capital to put it in there, to draw the capital out. So if this person is paying higher for their means of sustainability to eat a $12 salad, that's only 8 ounces, and this person over here buying a 40 ounce, hey, we don't care. We win. It's no conspiracy theory, people. This is a world prison. You have no freedom unless you declare it. You have none. You don't. And the more you start to see this, the more life will become more viable and visible to you. You'll be like, damn. Structure of the prison. There's an empire called Kazian that's sent to Imperial Factory Prison on Narkina 5. Those who watch Star Wars, you already know what it is. Key features. Electrified floors. The floors can be activated to emit lethal electrical charges. Prisoners must remain compliant at all times. Discipline is instant and collective. Assembly line labor. 9-to-5ers. Prisoners work in teams assembling unidentified mechanical components, implied to be Death Star parts. Well, military-industrial complex. Teams compete against one another. The lowest performing table is punished. Sounds a lot like a 9-to-5 community, don't you think? You know how it is where everybody's in that little job where it's a beehive effect. You know, you go to work, here goes the group of these guys, here goes the group of these people, it's groups. Because everybody, I don't care where you are, where you go, or how you operate in this matrix, everybody draws to their own like. Now, you have some people in the matrix that are loners. And for good reason. Because people that are in the matrix are loners, yeah, of course the group mentality is going to say that they're weird. They are this, they're that. But they don't know nothing about them, so they have to assume. Because you're not going with the group mentality, such as myself. I don't go with the group mentality, and I don't give a fuck who don't like it. But I'm very outspoken. And I'll tell you why I don't fuck with the group. I don't fuck with groups at all. I'm just not a group person. Because in the spiritual path of your enlightenment, you're going to be very fucking lonely. See, when you're at work, you're distracted from the principle of why you're there. Life is the same fucking way. You're distracted from your purpose. When you have more people to entertain, that's less time you're spending on developing your higher spiritual development. You don't even have time to get to know yourself. You're trying to get to know everybody else. It's a distraction implemented in the matrix, especially in family dynamics. We all got it. This side of family don't like this side of family. This side of family don't like this side of family. You know what? I stay away from all of them because it's an illusion. There is no such thing as favorite. It's just we need numbers and we're trying to recruit who we can. I don't fuck with them people like that. I have family. Yes, I do. But that's just the name. But I have a larger spiritual family that's out there somewhere in the world who I haven't met yet. I am open to that. That bloodline shit is the biggest trick in the world. Just being honest. It is all psychological manipulation. That's all it is. Which is another input to the system. No physical guards inside work areas. Look at America's prison system today. Look at all the videos you see online where people are recording videos showing you, hey, man, it's the weekend. Ain't no staff here. Sounds a lot like America's prison system. Surveillance and fear replace visible force. Our devices. Everywhere we go, people walk around with these fucking phones all fucking day, recording themselves. They're eating dinner, recording themselves. In a shower, you're giving them access freely. Apps ask you, do you give us permission to use this microphone? Do you give us permission to use this camera? If your phone doesn't come with options for you to shut it off, it's always on. You are living in a fucking TV show and you don't even know it. You can't go on no fucking social media site right now that doesn't have a live feature. None. I sit here and I look at people on TikTok, literally sit on TikTok from 9 a.m. to damn near 9 at night. They still up there. Sheesh. Truman Show all over again. Prisoners are given hope through release dates. Sounds a lot like America's prison system. But also, same thing for people who work on the job 35, 45 years. Retirement is your release date. Did you know that? So you go along to get along. You say, well, you know, man, I'm turning such and such and I'm about to be retired. That's your release date. That is the day you are released from your servitude. I know America likes to dress it up in such a silver-coated dross and basically say, well, this is a lifetime achievement. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Are we, you know what I'm saying? And it's the truth. It's the fundamental truth. Psychological manipulation. The prisoner, man, I get out for a few years. Man, I just got to hang on in there. But no guards are inside the work areas because guess what the guard is? It's you guarding yourself. Through fear, intimidation, and manipulation, all compiled as discipline. I tell people all the time, this is what these agents be saying, especially coming on people's channel. Oh, well, if you don't do it, then they're going to do this. That's called implementation of psychological manipulation. I am a human, living natural soul. I have the right to defend myself against anybody. I am not a go along to get along type person. So you can do it, but I'm not. And I stand by that. Simple as that. I'm not the baddest motherfucker on the face of this earth, but I ain't no bitch either. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Hierarchical control. Here it goes. Such as when you go to a job, you have a floor manager. Motherfucker that don't do shit, underqualified for the position they got, but qualified enough to keep the underlings in check. That's why they call them floor managers. Although a prisoner is still responsible for maintaining productivity, enforcing order, reporting to the unseen imperial authorities. Sounds a lot like the Western society we live in, or globally now. But we're talking about where we are. What we're dealing with in this particular round, right? This divides prisoners and makes them complicit in their own oppression. This is the reason why they have you calling people your boss. My boss said. I only got one boss and you can't see it. Period. Other than that, you are an employee. When I worked the 9 to 5s, before I got my own self-determination and figured it out, with things I will not say online, but I'm quite successful in them. But at the same token, no. I call no man my boss. None. Hey, employee, check this out. I don't give a fuck what your shirt say. People like, oh, officer. Hey, man, excuse me, sir. Let me out. I don't do all the titles. A judge. Hey, mister. Is it being offensive? No. It's being real. Y'all have to get out of that mentality. Servile. Don't be complicit in your own oppression. Symbolism. The Mundis system represents industrialized oppression, i.e. the workforce. Bureaucratic cruelty, your modern day administration. The banality of evil. Well, we see it all throughout culture. There was a time when movies, TV, and all sorts of other inputs in the matrix were actually positive and bright. I believe like after 2016 into 2018 to 2020, it's like everything that was put into motherfucking goddamn mainstream media was just evil. How the fuck do you make a horror movie around Christmas time? Because they want to make it the norm. Sex, drugs, alcoholism, you name it. All the things that are totally against nature is pumped into the system. When I say pumped, even your children ain't safe today. Especially you adults who love to give your children technology. Y'all don't know what the fuck they doing on them phones. If you go look at your children's search history in your phone, you don't even monitor it, I guarantee you will be shocked. You will be shocked. But hey, I didn't put it in the system. They did. Corporate style productivity quotas inside a dictatorship. For all you people waiting on tax returns. Yes, this is a prison system. It mirrors real world forced labor regimes while fitting into the empire's cold, mechanical aesthetic. That's why you see in this current administration, so many things are just being la-di-da. Tore it down to what? East Wing, White House historical building. Gave itself $10 billion for suing his own administration to government. Then awarded himself $10 billion more dollars to itself to the World Peace Fund, which he remained the chairman for his entire existence, with an additional board of supporters who all have to put up $1 billion apiece. And who did that $1 billion come from? It came from the population of the American people. That was $20 billion taxed from the American people and usurped into a cold mechanical aesthetic. But eventually, this is called the inevitable of it all. The system, the collapse, which is imminent. And if you're not prepared, I'm sorry, people. I'm not here to scare anybody. But this is what it usually leads to. The system ultimately fails because prisoners discover they are never truly released. Solidarity overcomes competition. A coordinated uprising occurs. Coordinated. Not accidental, because I said in the beginning, in the Matrix, nothing happens by accident. In the simulation, nothing happens by accident. It said coordinated. Uprising occurs. This prison arc becomes a turning point in Cassian's radicalization against the empire. What is this saying? In the simulation we call America, the population is becoming weary, tired, distressed, and frantic because there is no sense of normalcy anymore. So, solidarity overcomes competition. So when you were competing with your neighbor for whatever you were striving against, they got a truck, you have to get a truck. Now it's no more competition. It's like, we got to stop this shit. And now people start to think now more than ever, and they know something's wrong. This is not me saying it. The internet is flooded with millions upon millions of people who have come to this realization. They've come to this. The prison arc becomes a turning point. So when everybody realizes, and this is just the reality, now mind you, I'm referring to Star Wars, but I'm using a comparison. Nothing's different. It's going to come to an end, people. What I will tell you is this. Nothing's real. See, I'm telling you the reality of this so you don't take things too serious. A lot of people are stuck in a juxtaposition to believing that it's going to be okay one day. Well, I'm telling you it's not. It's not. Look, we're too far gone. We're too far gone as a society. Those 80s and those 90s years and them 2000s, they'll never come back. We are in direct mechanicalization. Period. And once upon a time we had community. Now everyone's isolated. I told you, solidarity will outdo competition. Everybody's fragmented. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's afraid. Everybody's scared. And this is the leash that feeds the beast system. That fear, that anxiety, that anticipation. It feeds it. It lives off of it. It can't stop doing it. If it stops, everything will go back to normal. Whatever normal is. But it can't stop. The moment it stops, it has to die. So when it says in scripture, these are just the beginning of sorrows, you must understand what that means. This is the beginning. Y'all think it's bad now? You're sadly mistaken. But if you are on the right side of the fence, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Now, if you're playing along with the simulation and you're one of the people of the world, there's no hope for you. That I can tell you. See, because he who is friends with the world is the enemy of the Most High. Be friends with this world if you want to. You already made your position. That's why a lot of these people have to understand that the allure of this world will torment you. Look at all these people that are so-called actors and entertainers and performers. You believe that they're happy? They're not. They buy multi-million-dollar houses that they can barely live in because they're always at the wheel and beckon of their master. Well, we got to shoot a movie. We got to be away about 6 to 8 months to film this movie. You signed up for it, right? So now you got to leave this $12 million house, $15 million house, $20 million house you done bought, and you can't even enjoy it. I believe it was a wise man in history that once said, by the name of Solomon, that said, vanity of vanities. All is vanity. See, when you have wisdom, you increase your sorrow. It's all for naught. It's all for naught. I just got issued a certificate. I just complete 25 AI classes in less than a month. And not in debt. But all in all, the only thing that's going to outlast my existence is my digital imprint, which I will pass down to my progeny. That's it. Because I know that we don't last forever, people. And I know a lot of people are afraid. They're like, where do we go from here? That's none of your business. And when I say this in the most sincere sense. Don't worry about that. You need to be worried about what you're doing while you're here. Don't worry about things that are beyond our comprehension. That's what's wrong with mankind and his troubles today. His troubles become all of our troubles. See what I'm saying? But you must realize in this matrix system, this construct, your debts are alleged, but they have real consequences. But this is the thing. You have to put your brain on fucking right. Everybody wants to look for a way out. I'm the one to tell you there isn't a way out. All of the people that put themselves into the matrix, yes, they are just as much as a prisoner as you are. Here you have people running around with $237 billion. Elon Musk, $237 billion for one person. But you have somebody who has $0 and probably 37 cents in their bank account is more happier than he is. Just being honest. And it's just how you have to formulate your school of thought around this. See, I know when people came to my channel, it was just, like I said, I don't do paperwork all the fucking time. Sometimes you need a reality check in between spaces to see exactly where you fall into the scheme of things. This is a prison planet. Period. Even when you perish, you go into a box that's locked. Do you really want to stay here? See, when you look at the cemetery, you look at churches, they both have crosses on them. One is for when you lay down, and one is when you're spiritually dead and you walk in. Oh, you didn't know the definition of metropolitan is archbishop? So everyone that lives in a metropolitan area, to be honest with you, the governor doesn't run your city. Oops. Wasn't supposed to say that. But I did. The archdiocese runs your city. Ask me how I know. I worked for the Archdiocese of Newark for 17 years of my life. I know who runs the city. And it ain't your governor. 17 years of my life. I've been places and seen things most humans will never see. And I'm not bragging and boasting. That was my job. That was my mission. The Most High set me on that path. So I can tell you who runs your city. Y'all writing the wrong people. I digress. But at the same token, the reason why I'm saying this is because you are now having your eyes open to the Mundis Prison System. That's what it is. I'll even show you something that's even hypnotically unfamiliar, and to show you that you are not in charge of your reality. Have you ever been in your house and you're just like, okay, I have to go upstairs, I have to go downstairs, I have to go to the garage, and you have to pass through several doorways to get to where you have to get to? Why is it that when you actually get to that point in your house, you forget why the fuck you were even there? That is your life. That is your spiritual mirror. You've done this already so many times that even right now, what I'm saying still resonates with you, and you don't even know why you're here. You don't even know why you're looking at this video. But guess what? You probably clicked on several different videos before you got here. Mark my words, it's true. You probably watched several different videos, probably some nonsense. Well, maybe I'm here as a channel intermission for you. Because I'm sure you probably have. Welcome to the realization of the fact that you are in a simulation. Wake up, because you're still asleep. You just don't know it. But you don't have to take my word for it. You can cut this video off, which is done in less than 48 minutes. And you can go right back to sleep. I never said anything. Why do you think I'm wearing pajamas? Maybe you are asleep. Maybe. But that's your choice. But at the same token, people, it's just a message. I'm just a messenger. This is not to scare you. This is to enliven the dead neurons in your brain for you to come back to your senses. When you understand that the system has vied for control for thousands of years and still can't figure it out, then what's the ends to the means? Or should I say the means to the end? Same thing, just worded differently. What's it all for? We've had rulers who ruled over thousands of people, but couldn't even maintain sanity of themselves. See, it's easier to exert control over people than to control yourself. Oh, that's very easy. That's why, going back to that manager position, that's those agents that I talk about so much on my channel. Because they love to come to people's platform and give their opinion. Agents, fuck your opinions. Strongly, I say it before you even try to put some dumb shit up there. Because you are the input that we're talking about. You are the virus. We are the cure. And the cure is the truth. You don't need your inputs. We see through your bullshit. We see your mechanisms of lies and deception. Whether it be in commerce, banking, law, anything. All you do is pervert and twist the truth. You lie, you twist the narratives, and all you do is just lie. But the truth seekers, the truth bearers, and the light bearers of this shit are banishing y'all at a rapid pace. Oh, trust me, it's not just me. There's millions and millions more just like me. Yes. So these agents that come on people's platform, do yourself a favor. Golden Gate Bridge, and you don't even have to look. Just do it backwards. That's all I'll say. But Hey, that's the reality, people. Escape the prison system by renewing your mind. You have to change the way you think. See, because if you're here and you've been viewing my channel and things seem far-fetched to you, then that probably is for you. And then you got the people who swear they know it all. Those people will fare the worse. See, when you stay pliant, you listen to what is called the still small voice, which is one of the reasons why it's so prevalent in society that people have to run with music. Everything they have to do, there has to be some sort of noise around them. See, right now it's raining. Once I upload this video, I'm going to enjoy me a nice snack and listen to the raindrop. Or you go to the gym, music. You get in your car, music. It's always a distraction to keep you from thinking. You could ask the average person when's the last time they actually meditated. They can't tell you. That's why they're so foggy. That's why they're so, just overwhelmed. Because you didn't give your brain time to think. That's why they bombard you with so much entertainment. To keep you from actually rationalizing with your conscious spiritual self and saying, hey, something's wrong. No, just another purchase on Amazon, just another gift, just another occasion to make me forget. And trust me, there are plenty of inputs still to come to the Matrix at the disposal. There are thousands upon thousands of factories working on them as we speak. Your job is to not participate. But you don't have to take my word for it. I digress. I believe I gave enough discourse for now on that topic, which will be revisited at a later date. But this is probably one of my longer videos that's not alive. But I hope you pay close attention. And thank you if I had your attention all the way down until close to an hour. Now, the decision is not whether or not you understood anything I said. Maybe you might have forgot what I said 10 minutes ago. That's all right. But the question is, what are you going to do about it? The choice is yours, and yours alone. Peace, light, love. May you grasp the message and govern yourself accordingly. Or else, succumb to it. But you better do something one way or the other, because whatever you do, it's going to happen, whether good or bad. Agents, man, fuck y'all. 10-4. Light and love, y'all. I'm out.